What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is B-Side Investing, and if you're new, please feel free to like and subscribe. And so today we're doing the BITFARMS Q2 earnings report. We're just gonna go through it and see how the company is doing. And so we'll check Bitcoin's price first here. 45.4. Not bad. I mean, you know, we did kind of rise up a bit too fast, kind of. If we go back here from 37 to 46, 46.5, 46.7. So, I mean, a little consolidation here and there wouldn't really hurt us here. So, it's not like it's going down. I mean, it's just consolidating here. So, not bad. I mean, yeah, it's gonna do that. I mean, there's no predicting how this thing's gonna do day to day. So, anyways, looking into BitFarm today, I knew we did not do that good at all. If I can find BitFarms, it's right here. So we're sitting at minus 14 on the day. Let's check the. Let me just go and check. There we go. Okay, so the Canadian price at 687. So we hit a high of 934. So we did come back about $2.50 since that high. So yeah, okay, it's moving. Okay, so the only thing is, like, hope it doesn't drop too much down to $3. If it does, I mean, all the way down, it is an option. It is an opportunity to get into it on a cheaper dollar cost average. So I mean, the company did really good in terms of the quarterly and the future outlook. Everything looks great. So, I mean, the company looks like it's a steal right now at under $1 billion valuation. So, actually, I think it is under. If you look at the U.S. price, it's going to be under $1 billion. Yep, about $800 million. So, definitely a good investment right there. So, okay. Before going further, I would like to say that I'm invested in BitFarms. So you may think that my opinions are skewed. So, I mean, you can do your own research and think for yourself and just make that decision based on your research, what you come up with. So I have 160 shares here, but I do own a lot more than just this. So this is just to show you that I do own, that I have stake in BitFarms. And therefore also in other Canadian miners as well, so not just BitFarms. So yeah, okay. So getting into the financials, just gonna breeze through it, because with the miners, I mean, you don't really want to look. It doesn't really make sense to look too deep into it. There's a few big numbers that we need to focus on. And that's about it. I mean, it is still a growing company, so you can't really look at the profit and losses yet. It's not a giant yet. It's just the company's valuation is still under $1 billion. I mean, still a lot of room to grow. So, yeah, like I said, I wouldn't focus too much on the net loss and not net profit just yet. So, if you're looking at companies like Amazon, Apple, then yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Then you would grill them like, well, why did you get a loss here? Why would you lose this much money this quarter? That makes sense to grill them, because then it's like you're already established. You're already the leader in the industry and pretty much two of the biggest companies in the world. So, yeah. Okay, so revenue-wise, we're looking at $36 million. And I believe it is all in US dollars. If it states otherwise, then I'll say Canadian dollars, like it says right here. So 36.7 million. Good. Gross profit of 23.4 million at about 64% gross margin. Nice. Took our operation loss of $2.1 million right there at minus 6%, and a net loss of $3.7 million this quarter. Gross mining profit is $28 million at 80% gross mining margin, which is ridiculous. 80%. Jesus. Yeah, and this quarter is also not the best numbers yet. Just look forward to the Q3 numbers, because the average buying price, like it's around 9,000 right now, as you can see here. So it's $9,000 per Bitcoin, and I believe Q3 is going to be around 4.5K to 5.5K per Bitcoin mined. So that's because of the Chinese exodus that happened, and that's drastically kind of adjusted the network share. So the Bitcoin network share. Yeah. So adjusted EBITDA, so that's earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and that's looking at $23.8 million, or 65% adjusted margin, and 759 Bitcoin mined on an average cost price of $9,000 per Bitcoin, and looks like held at 1,293 Bitcoin at a valuation of 35K per Bitcoin. We know that Q2 it did reach up to about 65K, so yeah, that's why you see a higher price average. Okay, so approximately $45 million. Yeah, so that's just multiplication of this and this, and you get the value of the Bitcoin at as of June 30th. So okay, so they received and installed 3,461 miners during the quarter, and what they also did is they replaced some of the old ones, and the net increase was about 240 petahash per second. So they also had a PPA of so that's private placement of 75 Canadian million dollars. So that's to buy. That's for the deposit for the Argentina facility, the miners that will be housed in that facility. So that's the 5 exahash coming in for 2022, starting Q1, starting January, I believe. So that's 56.3K new miners that's coming in, and I believe that is the MicroBT What's miners. Okay, right. Also, another highlight is getting into NASDAQ under ticker symbol BITF, same as the Canadian one, and built out our global leadership team with key promotions and hires. Always looking for improvements in that area as well, so that's good. Let's see. We made a great progress towards our goal of Bitcoin becoming a global Bitcoin mining company and solidifying our position as a leader in the Bitcoin mining space. That's great. Believe, let's see here. I think that's about it. I mean, yeah. Furthermore, the Chinese resulted shutdown of almost one half of the network hash rate has increased the market share for BITFARMS at just above 1.5% from less than 1%. So it looks like about every company looked to gain about 50% of their original network share. So let's see. Yeah, other infrastructure stuff. We also know the Argentina facility also is coming in, and that should be ready by Q1. Let's see. So financial results quarter end June 30th. So pretty much the Q2 results, same thing, same numbers, but we look at about almost 400% increase in revenue for the prior year, and an increase of 618 petahash, almost 90%, which is a lot. Right, and also gross mining margin, you see the difference, 28 million to 2.5 million, and 80% to 36%. So obviously the price this increased because of the price of Bitcoin going up, so that's why it's higher, and the percentage of the margin percentage is also higher because of that, so that's why. Let's see. Per Bitcoin cost, let's see, increased to $9,000 for the quarter in comparison to $5,000 for the prior year quarter. Yeah, that's obvious. Let's see. Reflecting the May 2020 halving event and expenses related to third-party hosting, offsets by the benefit from operating efficiencies. Yeah. Okay, so company's Q2 2021 EBITDA was at 2.7 million. Okay, margin at 7. And prior and today, the company took a net loss of $3.7 million in Q2, which did not differ materially from net loss in Q2 2020. Okay, which is about the same. So, let's see. They also reflected a loss of $15 million in reevaluation of our Bitcoin holdings. So pretty much the price going down kind of took a hit there. So that's where they lost $15 million in unrealized gains. Let's see, quarter. Yeah, also $6.3 million in non-cash share-based payment expenses. Jesus. Okay. So they did the U.S. institutional investor, the PPA. The net cash flow there was $60 million in cash, primarily used to secure the order for those 56,000 miners for the Argentina facility. So they were able to retain 95% of the Bitcoin of 759 Bitcoin mined during the quarter, and the Bitcoin mining. The retention program started in January 2021. So this year they just started the retention program. So before that, they were just using it to pay off their debts and stuff like that. So, and administrative expenses and other costs, which makes sense because, I mean, as a small company, you wouldn't have any extra cash to cover your expenses. You would just be mining it and using that Bitcoin to pay off that. So, okay, so the company ended the quarter with cash approximately $36 million and total liquidity defined as cash and Bitcoin holdings of approximately $81.6 million. Awesome. So the company has some cash in hand. That's good. Also, another note, looks like they will be raising some cash here, which makes sense because that 36,000 miners and building the facility in Argentina is going to cost them. So they need to raise some money there too. That 70 million is not going to be enough. So also future orders and everything, they definitely need the money. So at the market equity, so they're doing this program, the ATM program. So pretty much what it is they're going to sell $500 million worth of new shares in the U.S. market, and that will happen incrementally and slowly, and I guess it'll be like a timely fashion. They'll just be selling it. So $500 million. So it's a lot of money, and the company definitely needs it, and that's the price to pay. And I believe that's why the price of BitFarms is down, because of this news, because the financials it shouldn't really affect the company this much. I believe it's because of the ATM, after at the market equity program. Sorry about that. And they will not be selling any common shares in the TSX, so it's only in the NASDAQ. And yeah, that's in conclusion right there. If you want to check out the detailed numbers, you can. I mean, yeah, we've highlighted the main points. $9,000 per Bitcoin. That's going to come down in Q3, so not to worry about there. $500 million, that's going to be happening throughout. I don't know at what rate, at what volume they're going to be selling at. But if the price went down, so that looks like they'll be selling it at a cheaper price. So that means more volume there. So, okay. And they're mining more. And looks like we will have about 3 exahash by Q4. So we should have some miners coming in soon if there aren't any delays. And right, for the company, everything looks good, positive. We have 1.42 exahash of mining hash rate power, 1678 Bitcoin HODL. The cash, it will decrease once they use it to pay off some debt and pay off the deposit and the 5 exahash, and most likely they'll add some more around here because competition is fierce and looks like Marathon is running away with the most hash rate. So, and Riot is catching up, and yeah, and BitFarms is still lacking about 1,000 more BTC, and they're behind about 500 petahash. So the next target would be to catch up with Riot. That's the only competition right there. So yes, HUD is there too, but you know, we're looking forward. HUD doesn't really have anything close to 8 exahash. I mean 6 exahash by Q2, which is about the same here, I guess. It will depend on the delivery schedule, so that's another thing right there. So yeah. Also, you can see, always check out the BitFarms, their Twitter. They're really active on it. So, I mean, as an investor, like I said with previous companies, it's really advantageous for us, for companies to kind of give out more information on what's going on. So, yeah, pretty much everything's there. So, yeah, I think that's it for this one. So, it's really exciting to look forward to Q3 results. And BTC price is gonna go up too, so we have a lot of catalysts, and the future looks really bright for BitFarms, and there's not much to say. I mean, that's about it. This is my favorite company besides HUD and DigiHost. So yeah, definitely. I mean, like it's coming in from becoming from a small company. It's gonna be a giant. Just watch. Next year it's gonna be ridiculously huge, and then once we get over like more time passes, it's gonna become a huge company. So yeah. All right. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.